first one is pretty self-explanatory and a lot of people know about it, but I just thought I'd show you guys just in case you didn't. So this is a treat roll. So what you do is, I'll show you what it is. This is the exact same on this side. So what you do is you cut diagonally like this on each side of a paper towel roll, and you want to make them relatively the same size and make them stop at the same point. And then you just fold them in, and then with the last one you kind of just try to eyeball where you can tuck it under. Sometimes you have to redo it because you can't get it to go under, like certain ones, depending on how you cut them. See, like this one hanging off, depending on the size, you need to reopen it and start folding it in a different place. But since I've already folded this one in, it's kind of hard to do it. So I'm going to start folding in here instead this time. And then you make them fold in on top of each other. And this one would be the last one in this case. And this one works out better because I can just fold it in underneath there. Oh. Well, you get the idea. And then you just figure out where to fold it at. So then you have a treat roll, and why I call it that is because you put treats in here. You can also put a little bit of tissue paper or toilet paper in there with the treats, so they have to dig through it once they do chew through. So yeah, you just put treats in there, and so they have to get them out. Next one is this. My rats, this is their personal favorite, and I'm sorry I don't have the footage of me making those two, or this one and the last one, because I accidentally deleted them, but again, they're pretty self-explanatory. So this is the paper towel, toilet paper tube, and these would not be cut up, and you just cut up the ends into little strips. They don't have to be the same size or completely straight. They can be a little bit wiggly. As you can see, mine aren't even. Again, you do want these to kind of end relatively in the same spot. They don't all end in the exact same spot, but you want them to in a similar area, because when you fold them down, they will bend in the same place. And then you can sit it like this, or you can sit it like this. My rats absolutely love these. They've been tested and approved by all of my rats. They destroy them within usually at least the first day, if not a couple hours. Especially since I have so many of them. So I really suggest that you try this one out. It is one of my rats' favorites. It is a bit more time consuming to make because you have to cut so many of the little strips. Again though, if you want to, you can make them bigger. My rats just prefer it when I cut them into thinner strips. But yeah. Next one is a bit different. So this is just a smaller piece, but it'll just work. It'll work just as well. You can make different sizes of these if you would like. So just like the one before this and the previous one, you're just going to want to cut the one these into sides into strips, but you're going to want to do this side, or these sides now, the ones you're flattening. Just cut them into strips. These ones you're going to want to make a bit thicker, and you'll see why in a minute. And you're also going to want to make them end around the same spot as well. You've done that to both sides. The reason I said to make them a bit thicker was so you can grab them easier, because I made these once for my younger girls and they loved it, but it was a bit more time consuming because I made a bunch of little ones. So you're just going to want to fold two in opposite directions, kind of fold them over. This one kind of reminds me of a centipede, just because of the way it looks, and you just want to keep doing that and just do them opposites. Kind of just flatten them, and then do the same for this side. And then you kind of have these. You just want to make sure you kind of press them down, and then do the same this side. And then this one is kind of weird, but you can put treats in these little loops, or you can leave it like this. My girls are wrestling right now, sorry if you heard that. I also, when I made this last time, I put tissue paper. I kind of twisted tissue paper, and I had opened these up, and I stuck it through, and they tore it up. They destroyed it. You can also put treats in there, because now that you've kind of, I don't know how to mention that, you kind of weaved these, I guess you could say. This is much more harder to open up. You can also put treats in there. I did that as well, and it took them a little bit to get it out because of all these. I got distracted by these, but it's perfect for putting treats in. So yeah, and you can just sit it on the little legs. And this is kind of why you wanted to make sure they were sort of the same length, so they wasn't lopsided. So there's that. Next one a lot of people know about, just like the first one, and is fairly simple, but if you don't know about it, I just thought I'd let you know and show you how to. So you're going to want to cut paper towel roll into smaller strips, about that big. You can make them different sizes, and you can cut as many as you want. I once did one with a ton of tiny little pieces. It took a long time to put together, but it was worth it because it was a bit more sturdy, and it lasted a bit longer with my rats. Oops. So you have these now. You can cut these into smaller strips if you want, like I said, or you can just use them like this. Then you're going to want to put them together, kind of like this. You're going to want to do this with all the strips and kind of make them into a ball. But before you do that, you can also use this like the first one. You can make this a treat toy. You can put treats in there and then continue to weave it. So they have to chew it to dig it out. The result of wrapping them all around each other is this. I've made these multiple times, and they never turned out the same each time because every time I've wrapped them a bit differently, so they always look different. Again, you can put treats in there, and my girl, Ruby, is just carrying a piece of newspaper, so sorry about that. But yeah, so my older girls weren't a big fan of them. My younger girls, though, being more playful, they love to carry these around. So, yep.